Yu-Gi-Oh! Is an amazing card game with tons of opportunities to create, mix, and explore different things. But it's also pretty expensive, and dudes don't really have the money for it right now. However, we've set out to do our own sealed only challenge. Although, until we're actually able to buy the cards that we'll need, we'll have to settle with online services, honing and sharpening our skills until we're ready. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Unsealed. Hello humans, Artist with a Fro here, and welcome back to the show. This is quite possibly the last episode of our Unsealed journey as we get ready to transition into our sealed only challenge of making the Ancient Warriors. This is actually a backlog video, so there will be a few uploads between now and probably the next 3 days. So just keep that in mind if you guys have been missing some of that unsealed, sealed only Ancient Warrior content. There's a lot more videos that will be coming out soon. But before we jump in, I again want to thank all the people that joined us for the stream. The footage that you guys are seeing is actually footage from one of the streams that we did where a lot of viewers jumped in, ellipses, so on and so forth. We got a few people to test our deck against before we make it into the actual competitive scene. I think what I'm going to do moving forward is actually follow in the footsteps of another person doing their sealed only journey, Speed Robo, and I feel like we're gonna make our deck online to actually mimic the actual deck that we have. So it's gonna be a one-to-one comparison, and as we progress and as we improve on our actual deck, we'll be able to then make the corrections in the real world and also make the corrections in the digital world if we do want to do any other, or if we return back to any digital episodes. Now, as we transition, this is kind of going to be an intro, update, etc. into the sealed only journey, how that's going to work, some of my gripes and concerns going into it, as well as how long we kind of can foresee this journey continuing. So first and foremost, I think that the schedule for the sealed only challenge is probably going to last for about a year. I think that from now until 2021, we're going to get a lot more Ancient Warrior support. Maybe after the last set after Eternity Code, I feel like we're going to at least get 3 sets of support, probably with a special edition case or box for both Rising Rampage, for both Ignition Assault and Eternity Code. So we're probably going to see a bit more support that way, and that might make the second kind of like concern that I have a little bit more easier on myself as a consumer. So as it currently stands, we did purchase an Ignition Assault box, and that opening will be coming out soon. We also have the sneak peek video that will also be dropping as well. The sneak peek of course will come first, and then the Ignition Assault, because there's 2 different deck updates that I've done in between the 2 videos. So you'll see what the deck looked like with pretty much no Ancient Warrior cards, and then you'll see it transition into something that kind of resembles something closer to what we actually want as our finished result. Of course, I do still have to purchase the Gold Sark tins and Dual Devastator just to make sure that we bolster up our kind of like extra deck and all of the other support that we need. But for the most part, the deck is going to be on a slow transition upwards. And my biggest concern with that, which ties back into the intro that we had, is necessarily why? Why they decided to go about the rarities with the Ancient Warriors. So my biggest gripe is that half, if not most, of the rarities for the Ancient Warriors are either supers or ultras. And I think that, like, for me in particular, like getting those ultra cards through boxes or through booster packs or blister packs, as some people like to call them, it's going to be significantly harder to do without maybe any special editions, just because ultras are rare. Like it's one of those things where ultras are not rares, of course, but ultras in regards to the rarity of the box set, it's like you usually get maybe 2 to 3 of them, and out of those 2 to 3, I'd be lucky if I get maybe 2 2 Ancient Warrior cards, or not. It's like I either get lucky or I don't. The good thing, or not necessarily good thing, but the other thing that I've noticed is that with Ignition Assault in particular, it seems as if, of course, the percentages for different pulls are kind of dependent on the box that you get. So I have like I would either say a 50-50 chance or a 33 and a third chance of like actually getting the thing that I want. So the chances of me buying a box and then getting something will either be I'll either get all Ignister support, I'll either get all Ancient Warrior support, or I'll get all Plunder Patrol support. It seems that that's been the percentages that I've seen for people opening up their boxes over time. So that's going to kind of be our what's the word, condition, I guess, as we go into buying the rest of these packs. It's going to be basically just hoping that we get something with a lot of Ancient Warrior support. That way we can pull out the stuff that we need. Now, hopefully by Eternity Code, they will have already released a special edition. And I'm only hoping, I really, really want this thing to have something like the Fire Fist special edition, where we can possibly get maybe the support card, at least the Searcher card, which is Ancient Warrior Saga, the 3 visits, because that's going to be the hardest card for us to find. Like, that is our Gateway of the Six Samurai, that's our Babel, that's our not Secret Village, the Castle of Endymion, etc., etc. It's like our Guru Subterror field spell. It's the card that we're going to need that will ultimately make the deck more viable, more or less viable. So we'll have to see what we can get. Aside from that, I will be doing a few giveaways as we continue on the journey. Now, all of the common cards that I've opened, I'm kind of like holding them in a certain box, and I'll release that box, or rather I'll give that box away once the competition, or rather once the sealed only journey is finished. There will also be a box that I'm doing for the super cards, the rare cards, so on and so forth. And then I'll probably do like a binder giveaway where like every video I'll give away like a page of the cards. Because like I mentioned before at the start of the sealed only, or rather unsealed only journey, there's really no reason for me to hold on to all of these cards, primarily because this is going to be my last journey with Yu-Gi-Oh! This is going to be as far as I've ever kind of gone with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise, and kind of like pushing myself to not only enter the competitive scene, but also like really test myself against people that are on those higher levels of competition. Usually I only play like at a local scene, but I kind of want to like make sure that I bring myself to a higher level. So we'll see where we can get, and as far as we can get on our journey. But like I mentioned before, it's like the support that I've been receiving from everybody subscribing, everybody liking the content both here on Twitter and Instagram, so on and so forth, has not only encouraged me to make more, but has also kind of like been the catalyst for me to like really say like, you know what, yeah, this is going to be my thing, and how can I give back to the people that have helped me out. So with that being said, all of the cards that I will get that aren't necessarily going into the deck, I'm really just going to be giving away because there's no reason for me to hold on to them. So you'll have a chance to get, you know, Super Poly, and there can be only one, or if I pull like a bunch of common cards for a deck that you might be thinking about making, like Megaliths or Ignisters, it's like, and if you want that stuff, then by all means. I have no reason really to hold on to them. I feel like if I'm not going to make a deck with these cards, I don't want them to collect dust. I'd much rather them be in the hands of someone that could utilize them or use them for their own journey, or their own sort of like Yu-Gi-Oh! Escapade, for lack of a better term. So, again, that's kind of going to be it. The calendar in regards to scheduling for videos will still stay the same. There should be a video out every Monday and Friday. Whether or not they flip up, I feel like I'm probably going to do a sealed only video on Monday, and then the unsealed only video will come out on the Friday. Because I'll be able to go to locals on Saturday, do all my editing on Saturday and Sunday, and then release the video on the Monday schedule. That, of course, does mean that we are still going to include our Test Tube Tuesdays and all the other content that we have, the podcast, so on and so forth. So, again, I can't thank everybody enough for joining into the videos. This has been a sort of real boost of confidence, not only for myself, but for like the things that I want to do in the future. And I hope that for all the people that have, for all the new subscribers, welcome again. For all the people that have stuck through with the journey, it's only going to get better moving forward. And I hope you guys stay tuned for all of the other content that we have. Now, of course, I got to plug all the stuff, so make sure you subscribe, make sure you like on Instagram, follow on Twitter, all things under the same name. And yeah, let's do our outro, and let's kind of like get on with the rest of our journey. So I've been the Artist with the Fro. That, my friends, is the show, and thank you all for watching. Take care.